Everyone knows about Fyre Festival, one of the most catastrophic events that never happened. A giant scam, and creator Billy McFarland went to jail for it, and he still owes victims of it millions of dollars. Fyre Festival was hyped up to be one of the biggest music festivals ever created. It made outrageous claims about the headliners that were performing, bringing in the biggest music artists of all time. Basically any artist with a pulse that ever cracked the Billboard Top 100 was slated to perform at Fyre Festival. Hey, we've also got a necromancer on staff, and he just revived Elvis Presley, who just committed to performing at Fyre Fest. Get your tickets today, you don't want to miss it. All of the biggest musical stars are going. It's also the most luxurious event ever held. We also turned off gravity so you can float around. It's got everything you could ever want. Get your tickets to Fyre Festival. But then when it was time for the event to happen, it didn't. All of the excited guests were greeted with nothing but a tent and some cheese sandwiches that I think Billy McFarland himself whipped up in his kitchen. Just 2 pieces of Wonder Bread and a slab of government cheese. That's all it was. It was a huge scam. Everyone lost their ass on it, and it sent Billy McFarland to jail for being a fraudster. But he's been released from jail. And you know what he's doing? Fyre Festival again. He even tried to do a crypto island NFT scavenger hunt, but now he's just going back to calling it Fyre Festival too. Fyre Festival organizer and fraudster Billy McFarland announced a ticket drop on Monday for a sequel festival. After teasing the follow-up festival early this year, 100 pre-sale tickets went up for grabs on August 21st for $4.99 apiece. Tickets will continue to increase incrementally, with the last round selling for $7,999 each. For $1,500 or less, you could get 4 VIP tickets to Coachella with accommodations in a ready-to-go Lake El Dorado tent. If anyone buys tickets to this, you deserve to lose your money. You absolutely deserve to get scammed. Legitimately. You 100% deserve it. Those 100 tickets have sold out, according to an email from organizers and McFarland's social media, despite the event having no lineup of artist, exact date, or location. So he literally sold them nothing. He actually sold them nothing. All 100 people that bought this should be investigated. That's criminal levels of stupidity and recklessness. It's been the absolute wildest journey to get here, McFarland said while wearing a white bathrobe, wireless headphones. It all really started during the 7-month stint in solitary confinement. It looks like he learned so much, too. He continued that during his incarceration at Federal Correctional Institution Elkton in Lisbon, Ohio, he wrote a 50-page plan to parlay interest and demand into Fyre into new projects. There was a mention of a new Fyre documentary and a Fyre Broadway music festival. Now there's Fyre Festival 2 slated for the end of 2024, with pop-ups and events across the world.
What's up, guys? This is a big day, because as of right now, Fyre Festival 2 tickets are officially on sale.
Yeah!
It's been the absolute wildest journey to get here, and it really all started during the 7th-month stint in solitary confinement. I wrote out...
Hey, Billy, I'm not your PR guy. I'm not on the board here. Why would you mention solitary confinement? Hey, guys, Fyre Festival 2 is coming out. By the way, I am a convicted criminal. I spent 7 months in solitary confinement. But that's when I went on my spiritual journey and I really found myself. So I'm doing it again.
From around the world together to make the impossible happen, but how I would find the best partners in the world to allow me to be me while executing Fyre's vision to the highest level.
You just shouldn't be you. That's the big problem, is you. You are the problem. This doesn't inspire confidence, Billy.
To sign a deal to produce Fyre Festival, the Broadway musical.
I still think that's such a great idea. He's actually selling nothing now. He's selling imagination. He's selling the idea of things, which is so fucking cool. And people are buying it.
Is coming back to the Caribbean. We are targeting Fyre Festival 2 for the end of next year, and in the meantime, we'll be doing pop-ups and events across the world. Guys, this is your chance to get in.
Let's go.
Everything I've been working towards. Let's fucking go.
My man. Who wouldn't want to go? Billy, let me take a peek here. For only $7,999, I can go to a completely make-believe event.
As I'm sure you've heard by now, the tickets sold out really, really fast. And this is definitely going to frustrate a lot of you, but we now have 6,900 people on the wait list for Fyre Festival 2. I have gotten emails.
Do you think this guy's ever told the truth about anything in his life? I don't think he's even capable of being honest. Like, he was made in a lab to only tell lies.
However, today we are dropping Fire Festival merch. Here's one of our old hats. And I am picking 5 people who buy merch this week and comping you each 2 tickets to Fire Festival 2. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the hate. Together, you're creating the absolute perfect storm, and I can't wait to give the rest of you a front row seat as I fly right through it. 72 hours.
Is there anyone less honest than Billy McFarland, I wonder? So he made a single hat. I think there's a 0% chance there's merch to buy, and if there is, if you buy it, it should be like some kind of litmus test that immediately identifies you as a potential, like, criminally stupid threat to society. Billy dropping killer deals is $600 a ticket for Fart Festival. Show some goddamn respect. It's $7,999 per ticket. Don't you dare make him sound like a cheapskate. Fire Festival 2 pre-sale the Caribbean December 6, 2024 at 12 p.m. Where's the merch? Ah, here we go. $40 hat, $60 shirt, and... Okay, here. This is looking amazing, actually. I'm sorry to have not placed my faith in Billy McFarland and his team. And by team, I mean Billy McFarland and his 6 other alter egos. So he's got great options here. The $40 festival hat, this badass shirt, beautiful hoodie. Hold on just a minute, sports fans. We've got a deal on our hands. $10 says he bought all of his own tickets and will scalp them. No. He didn't buy his own tickets. Are you out of your mind? You think Billy McFarland has ever spent $1 in his life? No. He is literally just lying. They don't have tickets. They don't have anything. There is nothing. He is making shit up. That's all it is. It's imagination. It's SpongeBob and Patrick in their box. That's Billy McFarland's brain. That's his whole life. It's all make-believe. There is nothing real about this. Or him. Did you hear God might be real? Yeah, and his name's Billy McFarland. This guy is making hundreds of thousands of dollars selling nothing. Actually nothing. He has legitimately made so much money selling nothing. Isn't that one guy that made the festival where the only food was some random-ass sandwiches? Yeah, among many other things, yes. Fire Festival is still to date probably the most disastrous event ever attempted. Hypothetically, if it was legit, would you buy a ticket? Man, no. Shit, no, I still wouldn't. Absolutely not. I still think DashCon and Tana Mojo's events tie for worst event. I don't know, man. At least with TanaCon, I can't even think of a single positive. At least with DashCon, some people had fun. The ones that were like ejaculating into the pool. That's DashCon, right? Or the ball pit. The ones that were coming in the ball pit. Fire Festival, no one had fun. It was just a scam top to bottom. I decided to look up who's actually buying these tickets and why, and it's pretty much what I expected. It's a lot of people doing it for the meme, and also a lot of people that for some reason are so delusional they think there's a chance that it might happen, and that's worth spending this crazy amount of money on it. But here, this is a couple that proudly is talking about how they spent nearly $550 each to be among the first buyers of Fire Festival 2. And they said, if anything, it'll just be a really cool vacation. Our main concern is that we don't know if big headliners will be willing to, take the risk to be in something so controversial. We're going to stay optimistic, but we're going to expect that there may be some cheese sandwiches. Why? You know what else would be a really cool vacation? Taking a really cool vacation that doesn't cost thousands of dollars that you give to a scammer who's just taking advantage of your stupidity. Like, I know you've seen the footage of the last Fire Festival. What about that screamed really cool vacation? You went to just the middle of nothing and had a tent and a cheese sandwich. What's cool about that? I guess just the bragging right to say that you went to the Fire Festival sequel and still got nothing. So maybe you get like 5 extra likes on your Instagram post whining about it. It's your fault and it's a stupid thought process. No one is going to be headlining Fire Festival 2. I'll tell you right now. There's nothing to be optimistic about. It is not happening. Billy McFarland is a scammer. He is legitimately, evolutionarily designed to just lie, make shit up, and exploit stupid people for money. That's it. There's no chance that this happens this time around. And it's not like while he's been in prison, he's somehow learned how to throw the Fire Festival 2 properly. It's not like he got better connections while in the slammer. So it's going to be even less possible than it was the first time around. Silly Billy still owes $26 million to victims of his first scam and has no actual plan of paying that back. This is a desperate attempt to get a very quick infusion of cash in another imaginary festival to repay the first batch of suckers that bought into it. And let's not forget, this is already the second time since being released from jail that he's cooked up a fucking festival. He tried to do Pirate last time. I made a whole video on that. He tried to do an NFT scavenger hunt island vacation called Pirate, which he has now apparently wiped his ass with. So he's already canceled one of his imaginary events after trying to get money from it, and now he's doing it again with Fire Festival 2, but this time around, for some reason, people like this couple are spending money on it. It's pathetic. It's so fucking pathetic. He's also still considered a fugitive in the Bahamas. Like, no one is going to work with this guy. Absolutely nobody. So how could there even be a single thing to be optimistic about with Fire Festival 2? What you have done is just help a desperate scammer try and repay victims of his scam from the past. At that point, just donate to his GoFundMe, I guess. Why buy his Fire Festival 2 make-believe tickets? Like, halt. You've just reached a smile checkpoint, and it's time to pay the fee, so put a big smile on that face. I'm here to help. I've got some amazing news that's going to tug on your heartstrings and make you go, aww. A YouTube scammer was just sentenced to over 5 years in jail for a massive fraudulent operation they've been running for the last half a decade. And boy, howdy I tell ya, it's always a great feeling watching a scammer get their comeuppance. A nice knuckle sandwich from the law. And honestly, he's getting off easy here. His name is Jose Terran, and he is like the Cobra Commander of scammers. This guy is going to go down in history as one of the largest fraudsters in not only YouTube history, but music history as well. Over the course of the last 5 years, Jose has claimed 50,000 songs, meaning that he then took the rights from these songs and all of the money that those songs would generate online went into his bank account. And over the course of the 5 years he's been doing this, he's made roughly $23 million in royalty proceeds from the music he's fraudulently claimed. Bro straight up found a money tree and couldn't help but take a bite from the forbidden fruit, just like in the Garden of Eden. And now he is paying the price. He may have raked in 23 million bones, but now it's coming at the cost of over 5 years worth of his life spent in the slammer. And I really do think he's getting off easy here because this is an absolutely abhorrent case of fraud. But the wildest part is this is actually a very prevalent and out of control epidemic on YouTube itself. This scam is not something Jose came up with. This is very common right now and used by a lot of other shady scumbags. In fact, I'm not here to start pointing fingers here and, calling out sailors on the ship. I'm not trying to lead a mutiny. But there's even some beloved YouTubers that do pretty much exactly what Jose did on a smaller scale. We'll talk about all of that in a minute. I just want to quickly thank today's video sponsor, OperaGX. OperaGX just has so many tools that really allow you to customize it to your liking, as well as even allowing you to limit how much CPU and RAM the browser uses with GX Control. GX Control allows you to enhance your performance on PC when gaming by changing the amount of CPU and RAM you're willing to allocate to the browser, which makes it a lot less of a load on your system, unlike something like Chrome, for example, which is a resource hog. Another great feature is, of course, GX mods, and there's even a mod pack for me on there as well, if that sounds interesting, where you can change browser sounds. Yeah, baby! So yeah, all kinds of customizable wallpapers, and a lot of other interesting things that you can toy around with and adjust thanks to things like GX mods. And when you download using my link, you can see my latest 12 uploads in the OperaGX corner. So if you're interested in starting with OperaGX, you can download it for free in the description. Thanks again to Opera for sponsoring. Before diving into the bigger picture of this whole situation, let's focus on the particulars of Jose's case here. Now, he's considered a person of high risk to reoffend. They even cited that he obtained more than $6 million in personal profits and continued pocketing another $190K of stolen royalties, which he hid. And the hefty sentence was really necessary to deter him from launching future scams because he's planning to remain in the music business. I want to stop it right there. How the fuck is this even considered a hefty sentence? He stole $23 million. 23 million clams that he had no right to, he stole. Now let me walk you through how the scam works. Someone like Jose and other awful people like Jose will set up these fraudulent businesses and they'll go on a copyright claiming bender. Like, we're talking full-blown, like, 10 lines of coke, stay up 24 hours programming bots in order to flag content on YouTube that they will copyright claim to take the money from. On YouTube, when you copyright claim a piece of content, you then get the ad revenue from it, even though it wasn't you who posted the video. This happens to everyone's channel at some point. At some point, someone created a piece of, like, music or something that plays in the background of a game you're playing or something, and it'll get flagged in the system, and when that's there, you lose all the ad revenue from the content, and it goes to the person who made that piece, or is claiming they made that piece. That's how it works. In theory, it's supposed to be there to protect copyright holders from people that are just re-uploading their shit. Instead of just, like, taking it down, you have the option to instead just take the money from it, and it can stay up. But there's a lot of people that exploit this process, like Jose, where you don't have the rights to 50,000 songs here, but you're still claiming it because YouTube's system is fucking archaic. And there's not a whole lot of safeguards in place. A great example to highlight how unacceptably dog shit the current system is on YouTube, a community member of Destiny 2, just a person, just a, you know, red-blooded, God-fearing human being, a normal person, noticed that this is a complete oversight from the system. And in the Destiny 2 community, he got really fed up with the way Bungie was doing something. They got very upset. I don't want to go into all the details here, so I'm not going to get, like, too deep into the weeds. But basically, they were disgruntled, and in order to get back at not only the community, but Bungie themselves, they started copyright claiming a ton of content in the Destiny community. And they were claiming it as if it was Bungie doing it. So Bungie got a lot of flack, a lot of shit for it, and then eventually they got so bold and brazen that they copyright claimed Bungie themselves. Bungie's own content that they were posting on YouTube, their Destiny 2 content, this guy started taking the rights of. So it's very exploitable and has been exploited many times. And it's illegal, highly illegal. That guy's facing some serious life-changing repercussions from all of that. And now Jose is as well. But the point is, it is exploited often. It happened a lot and blew up in a big way a couple months back on TikTok, where people started to notice that there's these Spotify accounts set up that just play like random common sound effects like Roblox oof, or like that gong sound effect when something happens, like when you, I don't know, drink milk too fast on TikTok and it's like gong, I'm gonna shit my pants, like those sound effects. Someone had made Spotify accounts and were actually claiming those sound effects so that way they could take the ad revenue from YouTube videos that use them. It's someone that obviously didn't work on any of the sound effects or anything, but they noticed that they could claim the individual sound effects and then take the ad revenue. So the point is, this is a very common scam and it's a fucking problem. And Jose did this for half a decade, claimed over 50,000 songs that were not his, stealing money directly from those artists in order to profit himself, and he's only getting a little over 5 years in jail? I think that is a far cry from a hefty sentence. And the only reason that it's even that high is because they think he's at a high risk for reoffending, which he is, made over $20 million. You think this guy's not going to come right back into, hop onto the saddle again for another 20 million doubloons? Of course he will. So 5 years is comical. This should have been like an absolute statement. They should have made an example out of Jose here with a super serious sentence, because they got to put the kibosh on this shit. It's already out of control, and it's only going to get worse as people realize just how profitable it is to make these fraudulent copyright claims. So I totally disagree that this is hefty. This is light sentencing for this guy. And it's not just him. In fact, there is another one of his associates that is facing sentencing soon, but I imagine it's going to be roughly the same charges and the same time in jail. So it looks like there's going to be a restitution hearing soon, and right now the amount is set at $1.4 million to the victims of this scam, but they're trying to connect with more victims, but it's a little difficult because a lot of them are outside the US. A little insight into how this scam works was highlighted here in the Ars Technica article. It said that Batista, which was Jose's, teammate here, they duo queued to start this scam. They began in 2017, and they started the label known as Media Move. And the goal was to seize unearned royalties by claiming ownership of songs on YouTube that they noticed weren't actively monetized, meaning they didn't have any ads running on it, which is something you can see even as just a viewer. If you go on like a video or a song and there's no pre-roll ad, there's no banner ad, or display ads somewhere, you can comfortably say that no one's making money from it. So what they would do is they would target content like that and claim it, which they didn't have the rights to. It's not theirs to do that. But that was their whole business model, hunting this content down and putting it under their umbrella. Eventually, they even partnered with a management group called AdRev in order to give it like more credibility. So it wasn't just immediately red flagged as a huge fucking scam. Like 50,000 songs, that's a lot to be claiming ownership of. But no, it looks like they're partnering with AdRev. This must be legit. So it was kind of deeper than a lot of the other scammers that go this route on YouTube, which is probably why they were so successful and made so much money. This is a great section here, just laying out the timeline. This wasn't exactly like a jump scare to the community. A lot of people had been tipped off about this and fighting against Media Move for quite a while, because obviously the people who made the content that was getting claimed knows that it's a bunch of baloney. Like it's straight up fish paste. They made it, and it's getting claimed by a company they've never fucking heard of before. So they did fight against Media Move for years, but it kept getting pushed aside, it seemed. But in 2019, the IRS launched an investigation after they became a little suspicious with the amount of bank accounts Media Move had that were sometimes registered under fake names. And I really like this section here, so I'm just going to read it. Everyone knows how the scam works, and it's unclear if much has been done to stop future YouTube scammers from using the same playbook and targeting more artists. Artists attempted to bring a class action lawsuit against YouTube to gain access to systems to monitor their royalties and stop royalty theft, but that case was dismissed earlier this month before going to trial. I'll answer that question. Nothing has been done to prevent this from happening again in the future, and it is still continuing to happen right now. I briefly mentioned at the beginning of the video that some YouTubers actually use this same fucking method. Unfortunately, it's become a bit of a nuclear weapon that sometimes these creators will use to either silence criticism or just out of pure greed. An amazing example that we just covered a month ago is Alex Edson of Business Casual when he tried to take down a channel he felt was competition to his. He issued fraudulent copyright strikes. So he went above a copyright claim. He wasn't just taking the ad revenue. He was straight up taking the entire channel down because he believed that that channel used an image that was somewhat similar to an image he used in his video. This just highlights just how broken the system is. So if he wanted to, he could continue to do that and copyright claim other channels and keep making that same argument about like, oh no, that's my image and you stole it from me. And he'd get away with it because the system doesn't have anything in place to stop that. Now, Alex Edson at Business Casual was unsuccessful in his nefarious evil plot. Thank God. But he's still an absolute unforgivable piece of shit for what he's done, and there's a lot of other content creators that engage in similar behavior, maybe not always motivated out of like, you know, getting rid of competition. I need to make sure there's no one left in the world except my channel, so I'm gonna take them all down. But a lot of them are just motivated by greed, where they'll start copyright claiming people's content who like maybe make a meme out of something they did, or even criticize something they did. That's happened a lot over the history of YouTube, so it is unfortunately a system that needs a drastic overhaul, and it's not getting that tender love and care that it needs to be in a good state. So squeaky wheel needs the grease. The squeaky wheel really needs the grease. Otherwise, Jose and Batista here that got 23 million from fraudulently claiming just completely innocent artist music will continue to pop up over the course of the next few years and will only continue to snowball. So yeah, I wanted to talk about this. I think it's great that they did get caught and are being punished. I just wish the punishment was more severe because I just don't think the punishment fits the crime here. They likely won't even serve their full time in jail, and they got away with so much money for quite a long period of time. So I think the sentencing needed to be harsher, and hopefully as more people are caught doing this, the sentencing will continue to increase. So that way it can find... The words scam and YouTuber go together like peanut butter and jelly. Usually when you see these two words in the same sentence together, it indicates that a YouTuber is the one doing the scamming. But today, I've got a goofy little sad story for you that subverts your expectations more than Game of Thrones Season 8. This turns that narrative on its head, because in today's story, a YouTuber was the victim of a scam and lost about $1 million in pursuit of a dream. This is the story of how a friend of mine named Oompaville was schmeckeldorfed out of 1 million clams by a greasy worm named Jake. Oompaville just posted a beautifully made documentary going over the entire situation, so I highly recommend checking that out for the full story. Basically, Oompaville embarked on a journey to fulfill a dream of starting his own candy company called Sour Boys, and along the way got into bed with a bad demon named Jake, who hosed $1 million out of him in a big, disgusting scam. And this is something that I actually have a close personal connection to because I was actually very much updated on his company, Sour Boys, over the last year and a half. Last January of 2022, Oompaville talked to me about his candy company, and I was super excited by it. Oompaville was glowing, blushing in the cheeks every time he'd talk about it. It was like he was going to prom every single day when I'd ask about the candy company. And it made me super happy to see that from him. Just a really cool project and venture taken by someone that was very passionate about the product. And I mentioned this in the stream clips I want to show a little bit later, but I'll mention it here too. I'd actually tried the candy, me and my friends had all tried the candy by complete accident. It was sent to our P.O. box like 2 years ago or something like that. And we were eating it during a Moist Esports watch party and just fucking loving it. And we had no idea it was his. It wasn't until much later that we learned that Sour Boys that we were eating was Oompaville's. So it was a product that I had already liked without ever even knowing it was his. So it was top quality. And I eventually was told by Oompa that he was unfortunately used like a fucking fleshlight by a scammer and lost tons and tons of money, and that he'd be making a video on it. And now that video is finally out, so I'd like to talk about it here today because it is tragic. Now, I want to make it clear that this doesn't mean that Sour Boys is dead and buried. According to Oompaville, they are still pursuing a full launch, and it is apparently in a very good place, so that should be on the horizon at some point. But this is a massive $1 million hiccup. That's a hiccup that could put you in an early grave, honestly. Losing that amount of money to a scammer is nothing shy of an absolute asteroid hitting your world. But Oompa and his family have persevered and are still planning on launching Sour Boys in a big way. Sour Boys is started by Oompaville, but he has hired like most of his family to do it with him, as well as other people on payroll. So it is a huge undertaking, and God willing, he's not been scammed by his family next. It should come out at some point. But anyway, let me explain what the scam was and how he lost so much money over the course of starting this business. In a nutshell, Oompa launching a candy company. It's actually candy that I had before by accident, like I didn't know it was his. You might remember during our early Moist Esports watch parties, we were all eating a bunch of like sour candy. That was his candy. We didn't know it. Like it actually slapped. And those were like, I guess, prototypes that he did like a promotional for that we got. And fast forward over the last year and a half or so, I don't remember how long it's been now, but he's been trying to launch that candy company in a bigger way. So he's upped the production, got a warehouse, and he got a big machine in order to really be able to pump out volume and scale. Turns out the person who supposedly built the machine and shipped him the machine was a giant fucking scammer who also happened to be a friend of his. Not like a best friend, but a close enough friend where it would be the ultimate betrayal to even consider a scam. So basically, the machine that he bought under the assumption that it was built by his friend, serviced by his friend's friend, was all a complete lie. What it was he bought the machine from China and upcharged Oompa like fucking 3 or 4x what it was actually valued at. So in total, he's out $1 million. Would have been more too. He was supposed to send an additional like 70 grand to the scammer, but he had like a come to Jesus moment about it being fishy. And yeah, he is still planning on launching the candy company. He says it's in a good spot, but he did lose $1 million over the course of this journey because of that scammer. That was his friend. When you watch the video, I think it becomes pretty clear how anyone would have fallen for this. Like, there was so much communication. The person was, for the most part, reputable. It was a friend, trustworthy, so you always give them the benefit of the doubt in the first place. Oompa bent over backwards to pay wages and accommodate in order to get everything, situated, getting everything serviced, having a maintenance team, doing pretty much everything by the book. But it just turns out it was all a complete fucking lie. Even if it wasn't a scam, he'd be at $1 million. Yeah, but he'd have a company to show for it. Right now, he still has to keep building in order to get that ready. He says he is close and it's in a good spot, but that $1 million, assuming it didn't go to a scammer, would have helped launch the company and they would have already been in production. Well, and also, another thing that I think is worth mentioning, the machine that he did get that came from China that he was told was built by his friend and all them. The machine was quoted on the receipt as $143,000. Meanwhile, Oompa paid like 700 grand. So he also wouldn't have been out $1 million, and he would have also been in production by now. Even if it was your friend, wouldn't you look up how much the machine may be going for? Well, he wasn't buying a pre-built machine. The whole reason that he was going to his friend for this was to produce that machine, to make that machine. It wasn't supposed to be like a pre-built machine. So where would you even go to get information on that or see other competitive quotes when this is supposed to be like basically a bespoke deal here? It wasn't $1 million for the machine. He lost $1 million over time by getting the machine and paying the guy and everything. Yep. He said $700,000 to the actual scammer, and then over the course of like wages and other expenses came out to around $1 million in the shitter. Should have consulted me. Easy. True, he should have went to you. He should have been in Twitch chat just looking for the experts. You would have sniffed it out. Just go to Ask Reddit for advice. Where all sane people go, yeah. Why not ask a specialist about this before paying? The guy was a fucking specialist. Well, was supposed to be a specialist. And I guess in a way he was with scamming. Like, I don't know who else he was supposed to find. Like, Willy Wonka? Like, it's a hard thing to find people for that. Can he do something to press charges, or is it out of his control? Oh, they could absolutely press charges. 100%. Now, I don't know how hard they're going to go on that, but yeah, you can't just scam someone out of $700,000 for labor you didn't do and a completely false pretense on the whole situation, yeah. They could absolutely sue, and should sue. Can't sue if you can't be served. That's true. You gotta be real elusive. Just hide in the shadows and wear a disguise like glasses and a mustache. That's kind of the general overview of what happened. Again, just to give you the bullet points. Oompaville wanting to start the candy company, eventually realizing that if he wants to scale and keep things interesting, they're going to need to produce the candy themselves. Thus, they're going to need an actual machine. Thus, they're going to need an industrial engineer who knows what they're doing and can make the machine for them. He finds Jake. He hires Jake. He pays Jake up to $700,000 under the assumption that he is making this machine himself, specifically for the purpose of the Sour Boys candy production. With tons and tons of delays and a lot of very odd circumstances and things that happen throughout this multiple year venture, he learns that the machine that he eventually does get from Jake's shop is not a machine that Jake or anyone that works for Jake built. It was a machine that Jake purchased from China for $140,000 and was sold to Oompaville for significantly more than $140,000. And since Jake and no one on his team built it, no one knew how to really service this machine. So when eventually Oompaville did have someone that knew Jake come out to help, that person, his name is Will, did not know how to actually work on the machine. Thus, they were at a complete standstill. It was gridlocked. There wasn't a whole lot to be done. They realized then, when Will got there, that they never built that machine. That machine was purchased from China, and everything Jake had been saying, everything Jake had claimed that he was doing was all a blatant lie at the expense of Oompaville's financial security. $1 million over the course of a few years, and he does still have a machine, but has to retrofit that machine now, completely change it around in order to actually work for the candy that he is producing. That's kind of the whole situation in a nutshell. There's a lot more moving parts in between there. He went in with both feet. He fucking cannonballed into the big business pool here. In the video, he talks about how he had a brief time of homelessness because he put like so much into this. He was like living out of the warehouse. It's a very like actually concerning story, but Oompa tells it with a smile on his face. But hearing that, I'm like, Jesus Christ, that was like reckless and scary. But, you know, things are working out, kind of, though it would have been a lot smoother had he never met Jake and instead found a different engineer. But, you know, that's water under the bridge now. Hopefully Jake will face real punishment for this scam. This is not something that's like, you know, like, oh, that's what a goofball, Jake, you got us. Darn. This is absolutely a needs to be in jail, long prison sentence type of situation for this guy. That's an unforgivable thing to do. So yeah, that's kind of the bare bones of the story. I highly encourage you watch the entire documentary if you want to see like the nitty gritty of everything that went on throughout this entire journey. It's wild and sad. Him, Oompaville, and his family have like a really good attitude about everything somehow, which is, hats off to them. I don't know how they maintain like positivity in the face of $1 million fucking scam like that, but good on them. I'm wishing them nothing but the best. I hope Sour Boys does very well. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about this a little bit because this is a very rare instance of a YouTuber. Tai Lopez is arguably the most iconic scammer in YouTube history. He's the mastermind behind the classic "here in my garage, just bought this Lamborghini" clip. Throughout the years, no name has commanded less respect than Tai Lopez. He is just a clown people shoot spitballs at. He is just like the communal piñata that people used to love to take shots at, like a little punching bag. And it was always good fun because he's a piece of shit. He is literally a scammer. And not many people know this, but he's actually still around. This cockroach has persisted and he still posts videos and still tries to sell courses and seminars. So I wanted to take a look at one of his more recent ones, a tour of his $100 million mansion. Except it's not his mansion, he's leasing it. And he's not trying to hide that fact either. He wears it proudly on his sleeve and spends 17 minutes coping trying to convince his audience that leasing a $100 million property is actually a galaxy brain, giga chad financial decision, and tries to convince them that leasing is better than buying in a lot of cases. It is unbelievable delusion.
So let me give you the reasons why I just leased this $100 million house in Beverly Hills. Why would I lease this for a year? Is that crazy?
It's beyond crazy. It's plain brain dead. This is plus ultra moron shit here. Leasing a $100 million property, and trying to posture it as a good thing and a smart financial decision, that is baffling. Now, I know Tai Lopez is just a complete fake person. Like, he even moves around like an NPC out of GTA, like some kind of character you'd find on the street that's like falling over or getting bullied by someone. But like this, it's become his whole persona. I'm oiled up in my garage, rubbing my wiener on my Lamborghini, that kind of thing, like flexing these wealthy things. But this is so unbelievable to me, where he's trying to position a lease on a $100 million property as a good thing.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what Felix Dennis, he had the 3 F's rule. If it flies, floats, or lease it, don't buy it.
A mansion does none of those things, except fuck you in the face. Like, I understand that this is all for show. I think there's a very real chance he's not even leasing this property, and I'll get into that in a moment. As he's doing the walkthrough, this place is more barren and empty than my fucking 16th birthday party. Like, I don't think he even leased it. I think he asked the realtor if he can just film a video in there so he could promote his seminars. The only reason he's at this property and making this video is to try and push gullible fools into purchasing his courses and attending his seminars and that kind of fucking nonsense, just to keep exploiting people.
But that's not the real reason. I'm gonna give you the reasons why I would do something crazy, because we live in a world, it's like if you lease a Lamborghini, people think, this person's dumb, or they're trying to pretend, or if they lease a house, this isn't an Airbnb, this is a long-term lease. People are like, and I'm going, no, use your brain. They don't teach us in school financial literacy.
It's not financial literacy, it's substantial idiocy. If you used your brain for even a second, just had one neuron activation moment, you would recognize how stupid this whole thing is.
I buy farmland. I own farms. This is number one. There are things you should buy and things you should lease.
Tai loves to go on and on about the farms that he owns, and I'm confident he's never stepped foot on them for even a second past the initial handshake of purchasing it. If that's even a true story, it's impossible to know with Tai Lopez, but if he did own farms, you bet your sweet bippy he'd say, "Ew, yucky, smelly animals," and run away. To tie it all back to Tai's 10 commandments here of leasing, I'm going to go ahead and poke some holes into that theory here. There are things you should buy, and there are things you should lease in some cases. You know what one thing you should never lease is? A $100 million mansion, no matter how well off you are. I don't even understand this from a conceptual standpoint because this just looks pathetic. It looks weak. And I feel even the most brainwashed of suckers would see that too. Like, let's say I'm someone susceptible to Tai Lopez's manipulation. And I'm like, Tai Lopez, he's got all the secrets to wealth. If I follow him, I'll be a multimillionaire too. And then I watch this video, I would look at Tai Lopez like a little fucking vermin for it. Because this is him paying a richer man to film content in that house. This isn't his house. He's very open about leasing this. He is paying someone more wealthy and more successful than him to ask him if he can kind of stay there while filming YouTube videos. Like, that's not a financial guru. That's a bitch.
What I also like about this house, and reason number 2, is a lease for tax purposes and deductions. If you've got a big wing of business like I do, you get better tax deductions on a lease versus a purchase. I use this little thing to separate. Actually, let's go this way first.
I love that he has the business wing sectioned off here. Why? What's happening over there? Is that where the owner is and he's fucking your girlfriend, Ty? Like, I don't understand. Who in their own home would be like quarantining the business wing? That'd be like me setting up an obstacle course to get into my office here. That's where I do the high level stuff. So naturally, I've got it blockaded.
Yeah, it's a sitting room, but I'm gonna put in grand piano. I like to play the piano.
You runny-nosed little worm, why are you lying to me? I know you're not putting a grand piano in there.
Number 3 is flexibility. Next reason is charity.
Yes, charity. Nothing says helping the community quite like living in a $100 million mansion that you're leasing. He's doing it for the people at the end of the day. He's not selfish. He's leasing this property because he's uplifting those around him, helping everyone that he can through this. And he stays flexible, of course. He's not married to this home. If he wants to, he can go get a $200 million lease on my fucking butthole. Like, he's got so many options.
Never just live for yourself. I call it the 50-50 rule. You should spend 50% of your life living for yourself and your family and people who depend on you, but 50% live for the good of others. So this house is amazing. I already did a big event, a charity pool party. You know, this backyard will hold 800 people, and I sold tables, and all the profit from the little tables in the back went to charity. So you can do good with a big house.
Might actually be one of the weakest arguments I've ever heard for why some narcissistic loser would lease a $100 million property. Well, actually, there's so much good you can do with a big house like this. I threw a pool party and I sold tables. I don't know what that means, full disclosure. I don't know what that... You sold tables? Is that like code for baby oil? Is this like a freak off or something? Like, I don't know what he's saying with that. But whatever. I sold tables and I gave money to charity. Okay, you could also just give the money to charity without leasing a $100 million home. Like, that home didn't help you do any of that. It doesn't make any sense what you're trying to say here. I also love how he tries to get really philosophical. Like, he's a man's man. You gotta live for yourself sometimes, but then live for others, like your family. Speaking of family, Ty, where's your wife and kids? You're pushing 50 and you still don't have a family, man. You're still on this stupid fucking grind set mentality, trying to scam people through dog shit YouTube videos and seminars like this.
Next reason to lease versus buy is maintenance responsibility. You know how expensive this house is to maintain? So I love the fact that it's like you're not responsible really for the maintenance if you negotiate your lease right.
Another great reason to lease versus buy is I'm too fucking lazy to do any of it myself, so I'll put that responsibility on the person that I'm leasing from. Yeah. Cool flex, Ty. I can't be bothered to do anything except sit here and make YouTube shorts promoting nonsense to fools. So I'll let someone else take care of like the actual stuff.
Pool, I like swimming is underrated, man. Jogging's hard on the joints. Swimming, there's a certain magic. You look at those people like the Maoris, like The Rock, people from the South Pacific are in some of the best shape historically, the people who swam a lot. So I love swimming. I don't know why we still have all the ropes up, but I like to do my workouts outside when I can.
What the fuck are you yapping about, man? What just say you like to swim. I don't know why he's going into this whole spiel about it. I don't think he swims, for what it's worth. I just don't believe anything that ever comes out of Tai Lopez's mouth, to be honest with you. I bet he hasn't even dipped his toes into that pool, because it might be a little too chilly or something. But, like, I don't even understand why he's even going on about this. And then he says, I like to do my workouts outside, and there's, like, 5 dumbbells there that go up to, like, maybe 20 pounds. Getting a real big pump out there, huh, Ty? He is making this shit up on the spot. Like I said, I don't think he actually even leases this place. I think a realtor just granted him permission to come through while it was being cleaned for a serious buyer. Because he's just walking through, like, pointing at shit and going on these completely nonsensical tangents. Yeah, I like to do my workouts outside, which is why all those heavy dumbbells are over there. A lot of ropes around here from last night's hootenanny. Yeah, we had a big shindig last night. I don't know why the ropes are still up.
Another reason, it's a great opportunity to test a place. So if you negotiate a lease correctly, you can a lot of times put that you have first option to buy. So it's a great way. This is the guest house here in the pool. I got friends that stay here. My mom, when she comes to visit, she likes to stay close but be a little bit separate. So she stays here in the pool house.
Yeah, you get to guinea pig the house for a little bit, do a bit of beta testing. Yeah, there's a pool house. I kind of confine my mom to these quarters when she's around here. She loves to come over, and I have so many friends. You guys know how many friends I have. I have lots and lots of friends, and sometimes they'll stay here too when my mom's not, taking up the joint. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Also, like, he's just going around making up stories for shit. He is just spitballing lore for things that he sees, like a game of I Spy.
This is where we had the tables for the charity thing. It was pretty cool. We had the DJ over there. So this room, I'm turning, Anton's here, CEO here. He's getting some work done, but this is becoming the game room.
Is Anton even alive over there? It looks like he's out cold. You should be going over there to check for a pulse, brother. Man looks like he overdosed on chill pills. I also just don't even think Tai Lopez knows who that is. His name's probably not even Anton. He probably just pulled that out of his ass. Maybe he is the CEO of something. I don't have a clue, but to me, it just really feels like there's some random people in this house and Tai Lopez is scrambling to try and explain why they're there. Like, oh, hey, it's Jericho, hey, up top. Yeah. Good game last night. Yeah, Jericho was at the charity function last night. He donated $5 million to the charity we were partying for, and then I think he ended up having like a threesome or something. But anyway, it's great to see you. Great to see you. Yeah. Oh, yep. Nope. Another charity event next week. That's right. Can't wait. Anyway, this is gonna be the game room. Gonna be a lot of games in this room.
Super Bowl, you can open this to outside. You got your own bar here, which is kind of cool. But now I want to go back to one of the points of leasing versus buying.
I wish Anton had just shot up after hearing that. Like, what the fuck? Benefits of leasing versus buying? Are you out of your mind? Are you off your gourd? Also can't help but just appreciate that Tai Lopez talks about like the bar over there and then like slowly walks over there, fee-fi-fo-fums, just to spank it for no reason, just to slap it.
A reason that I like to do a $100 million huge house is it's easier to clearly delineate what's personal and what's business. I section it off.
What the hell is even that? One of the biggest benefits to a big house in Tai Lopez's eyes is his ability to effectively section off what's business and what's personal. Do you not have object permanence? Are you 5 years old? Man thinks if he's not in his office, it just disappears. So he has to set up these blockers to remind him, like, office on that side, that's where business is. You can't just be an adult and know that your office is where your business shit is. Everything else is your personal shit. Like, what? How dumb are you?
Change your life right here. I'm loading all my books in. I have other homes, so I'm trying to decide, do I want to buy all new books because this place got such a good library, or do I want to ship books? I have more books in boxes on one of my farms. Okay, here, as I said, one of the advantages of leasing versus buying is the business element of it. Here, this house has a ballroom. I have a lot of my C-suite, not all my employees, but I have like the leaders come.
I fail to see how that's an advantage of leasing versus buying, because you could still get that same effect through buying. If you own the house, you could still have them in that same ballroom, like your little fucking personal sweatshop here. Like, it's not like leasing helped you do that better or gave you the ability to do that, whereas buying wouldn't.
Rick Field here, one of the chief branding officers, the world's largest monitor. But yeah, this is a cool place. It's got very finely crafted kind of all of this work that they did is pretty incredible.
One thing I find very interesting is Tai Lopez walks around this house like a fucking ghost. Everyone around him treats him as if he's invisible. So he's like directly talking about Rick Field, who's in earshot. Like he is right next to him. Ty's breathing down the shoulder. Rick doesn't even give him the time of day, doesn't look at him. Anton, another example, never even acknowledges Tai Lopez's presence, doesn't even look up at him. Neither does anyone in that room. I don't think they know Tai. I really don't.
Very important. Heidi keeps a lot of my books. Here, tú puedes poner esto en mí. The books I read, I stick in my office, so I put them all here. Esto no. I read this one. I like to go to sleep by reading 3 or 4 books. If you ain't sleeping well, don't be scrolling on your phone. Read.
Turns out Ty actually had some surprise books upstairs that he hadn't fully loaded into his shelves down there. So the books on the shelves, those are the ones that he reads. The ones upstairs, that's a totally different set of books. So he starts fishing through there. This book, and this book, and this book, and then just hands it to Heidi. And then he says he reads 3 to 4 books before going to bed. Impossible? You don't do that? I know you don't. What do you mean you read 3 to 4 books? Like maybe picture books or something where you flip through Green Eggs and Ham, perhaps, but you're not reading full books every night before bed. No shot. That's not happening.
I haven't fully even, I don't spend all my time here. California is not my main home, it's somewhere else. And I also live in Europe part-time. So another reason to lease, why leased versus purchase, is I like to have multiple homes. And I feel like when you own something, you see it as your nest egg and you literally don't travel as much. I know that's psychological, but it's true.
I just cannot believe that he's saying these things on camera to his audience, because it is so clear to anybody watching this how full of shit this man is. So you're telling me you lease tons of homes apparently and live a lot of different places. You're leasing a $100 million home despite not really spending that much time here. Why? Why lease a $100 million home then? You are actually just flushing money down the shitter. The reason you'd buy multiple homes if you've reached like an absurd level of wealth is you're building equity. Like you're building things. Like you are able to make money off those investments long term. Here, you are actually just burning money. So you're bad with money is what you're admitting to here, Ty. I cannot believe that he's not able to process that.
I've got a big party coming up. By the way, I'm doing these mansion seminars in the ballroom and I do these charity parties. So I'll put a link in the description if you want to see the calendar of the upcoming stuff.
Gorsh. Absolutely, Ty. Sign me up. Parties, mansion seminars, and a leased $100 million property. I can't wait to be taught by the master.
This place, they used to use it for like big charity events. Brad Pitt had an event here. It's pretty cool. But, you know, a lot of times if you do it right, another thing I like is you can lease homes that will never come up for sale. It's kind of cool because sometimes people don't want to sell the whole home. So for me, life is about adventure. I'm not number one, my core drive is not material things. So like I said, I like to buy farmland. Farmland's been the best risk-adjusted return. You know, I'd rather own farms that have a productive use than just homes or mansions.
Ty's serving up a full course of the Yappy meal here on the world's slowest elevator. Why does it take so long to go 2 floors? This elevator sucks. Is there just like a couple people with like a rope slowly letting it down as Ty gets in it? How is it that slow? Jesus. And anyway, whatever he's talking about in there is fucking stupid in the first place, saying how his number one motivator is not material things. Meanwhile, his whole persona is material things and presenting material things, flexing material things, and convincing his audience that they should and can get those material things through following him. You're just so full of barnacles, Ty, it's crazy.
I don't know where we are. That goes back up. And this is you could fit up to 20 cars in the garage, but my friend's staying here and just one little Lambo. I'm trying to decide if I want to get a Phantom Rolls Royce with the driver.
That's so badass, Ty. He can't decide if he wants the Phantom or the Rolls Royce with the driver. He just has so many complex decisions. I say, why not both? You got plenty of dough lying around, right? Look at you, Ty. Just get both. You've earned it, man. You've earned it. I also love it. He's like, yeah, I don't really know where we are. Of course you don't. Of course you don't know where you are, Ty. Because I don't think you actually lease this place. You just come in here because you know the realtor and he'd let you come in here and just take a fucking tour through it while presenting as if it's yours so you could sell some fools on your fucking courses to make money off of them.
But I use this a lot. It's got a really good sound system, beautiful chairs. I had the first night I moved in, like 5 friends, and we all, what do we watch? The Bourne Experiment. And it was like everybody fell asleep in the chairs. Everybody was snoring. Guys' night, everybody's sitting there snoring.
No, they didn't. You made that up. Of all the things that have never happened, that's definitely one of them. Well, like, you couldn't even think of an accurate Bourne title. There is no Bourne Experiment, goober. Like, he's just making shit up. And the amount of times he references his friends truly convinces me that he has no one in his life that's close to him. Nobody at all. Yeah, so I had, like, my friends, you know, they were here. We watched a movie. And then everyone fell asleep. They were, like, snoring and shit. And then, you know, my friends, they came up to me and said, thank you so much, Ty, for letting us stay here. You're such a good guy. And thank you, Ty, for making us millions of dollars. And then everyone clapped.
The next reason to buy is adventure. I'm an adventure guy. People always ask me, Ty, why are you still doing business? You know, I could have retired and had enough recurring revenue probably in like 2007 or 8. You know, why didn't I? I like adventure.
Of course. No, absolutely, Ty. He's just a real adventurous soul. And he doesn't like to be tied down by like a family or anything. He likes to do it alone. He prefers to be alone. It's his choice.
Don't be afraid to lease. As I told you at the beginning, what Felix Dennis said about the 3 Fs. So don't listen. People are financially illiterate. They're like, oh, if you didn't buy it, that's something wrong. Do the cost benefit analysis. Sometimes it makes sense to buy. Sometimes it makes sense to lease. If you know you want to be there for a long time, like farms for me.
Not a single convincing argument in favor of leasing over buying presented throughout this entire video. Because bare necessities. The core is that it's stupid to lease a $100 million mansion under any circumstances. It's a terrible idea. And he's trying so hard to spin it as like an alpha gigabrain financial guru maneuver. It's not, Ty. It's not. He then goes on to promote his seminars once more to try and get people through the door with their wallets out and piggy banks emptied. So just man, do I have some wacky news for you today. This is going to absolutely floor you with shock. It involves our beloved Dhar Man. I'm sure all of you know Dhar Man. He has his own little extended universe, the DMCU, the Dhar Man Cinematic Universe. Even if you've never subjected yourself to the torture of watching a Dhar Man video, I'm confident you've at least heard of them or seen them, because he pioneered an entire genre of telling the most basic stories and teaching the most basic lessons you learned as an 8-year-old. It was my guilty pleasure to watch them because I was so confused by their existence and their popularity. These things have like 50 million views sometimes. And it's literally things like, be nice, don't be mean, don't cheat, don't judge a book by its cover. Like, it feels like he's making these things as like this repository of human emotion to teach to aliens that are trying to study us. It's crazy, and what's crazier is how popular they were. And the titles, they legitimately were a massive smashing success that other channels have emulated. Things like Tall Girl Dumps Short Guy and Lives to Regret It, Man Cheats on Wife, Lives to Regret It, Employee Spits in Boss's Burrito, Lives to Regret It, or Kid Tries to Cheat on Math Test, What Happens Next is Shocking. Woman works 3 jobs to put food on the table for her kids, What Happens Next is Shocking. That kind of thing. Dhar Man started that. And he's also the one who always says that they're not just telling stories, they're changing lives. But this week, a lot of allegations came out against Dhar Man, and it seems like they're not just telling stories, they're changing the lives of their actors in a much worse way. According to a lot of beloved actors that I know and love, such as Steve, our boy Steve, I've made a lot of content around Dhar Mann, and Steve's been one of my favorites. He has corroborated a lot of these claims that they just don't get paid, like, at all. He says that the majority of the actors can't even afford rent when they're contracted by Dhar Mann Studios. So it's a pretty big deal.
Essentially, as an actor at Dhar Mann Studios, I am just a contract player. I have no employment there. I am just sort of called every now and then, as are all the other actors. And it just is not sustainable. One of the main issues is that not a single actor that works at Dhar Mann Studios can afford rent.
Hearing shit like that absolutely blows my mind because every single actor in the Dhar Mann cinematic universe has like 1,000 roles. Like Steve, his name's not Steve, but he'll always be Steve to me, damn it. His real name is Colin. Colin accounts for probably like 40% of total screen time in Dhar Mann's videos, and he's not getting paid enough to afford rent? That's outrageous. And I went into the comments because I wanted to see what people were saying about all of this, and usually when you go into the comments you expect to see some absolutely wild shit, like, Dhar Mann's a bad guy, he showed me his butthole in one of my dreams once. Or you'll find jokes like one of the top comments was, the PS5s changed Dhar Mann, which made me giggle. It's talking about Dhar Mann's obsession with giving away PS5s in the videos. But then one comment made an extremely good point that's pretty alarming to think about. A lot of the actors in Dhar Mann's videos are children, and if he's this comfortable exploiting industry veterans like Colin has been in Better Call Saul, had minor roles in other huge productions, he has been in the industry for a long time outside of the Dhar Mann Studios universe. If Dhar Mann's exploiting people like Colin and other adult actors with horrible pay, is he even paying the children at all, I have to wonder. Like, I can only imagine how messy that could potentially be. Like, does he just like, write clout into their contracts? Like, hey, Junior, I'm making my 48th video on not judging a book by its cover. I need you to play the principal role. I'll give you 1,000 exposure dollars. My YouTube channel has 17.8 million subs. This is going to be great for your Instagram and your TikTok, so just sign here. No, you're not getting pay. I mean, I can give you like some sticks of gum, but that's about it. It's very concerning because if all of these allegations are true, and every single actor I've seen in the Dhar Mann cinematic universe has come out corroborating each other, and they are out there protesting right now outside of Dhar Mann Studios, if all of those are true, it's very worrying to think about if he's also doing the same to the children actors in his content. Because those kids are not industry veterans, and their parents likely aren't familiar with the industry either. They might not know what fair pay is, or if there even is pay for the work. Like, there's just so much messiness to all of that could potentially be going on if all of the allegations are true. One of his big lessons is what happens in the dark always comes to the light. And goddamn is Dhar Mann learning that one right now. I saw that comment across every TikTok ever referring to this situation. Like, Dhar Mann is getting dunked on with his own lessons. He even made a video kind of about this same thing, such as mean boss mistreating employees and lives to regret it. Dhar Mann is in that stage right now because all of his employees, well, I guess they're not technically employees, they're contractors. All of them are coming out to talk about how miserable it was when it comes to the pay, and Dhar Mann's complete refusal to even talk to them. He just dodges them at every possible opportunity, and apparently has even cultivated this culture where if you speak out against him, you get fired. So I'd like to go over all of these allegations with you and show you some of their TikToks and the protests that they're currently doing against Dhar Mann Studios. There's a ton of footage of their protest, and I recognize every single person in it. I also love the shirts some of them are wearing that says, "What happens next is shocking." That's just beautiful. So even though Dhar Mann appears to want to teach lessons of positivity to everyone else, it's rules for thee and not for me. According to pretty much every actor, they're all saying the same thing about his refusal to communicate, as well as his refusal to actually pay them like an actual good wage for their work. Which is odd because he makes so much money off of the content. It's tens of millions. Because when Dhar Mann makes a video, not only does it blow up on YouTube, getting at least 10 million views pretty much, but it's kind of like Ouroboros constantly eating its own ass here, because he'll take that same video that he made for YouTube and repackage it on every other platform, Facebook, TikTok, everywhere, to farm even more views for this crazy cycle of just getting maximum absorbency of views from everywhere. That's a ton of money. But even aside from the money he's generating on the content itself, he was already an extremely successful and extremely wealthy businessman. He had a very successful cosmetics line, and I think even before Dhar Mann Studios blew up for him, he was worth right around $50 million. This is a guy that could easily afford to pay his actors well, and I would have expected him to do that, because I always got the impression that he was just like a genuinely good guy who just wanted to tell basic positive messages. But according to all the actors, he's a wolf in sheep's clothing, which is extremely sad, and I feel terrible for all the actors in this situation, because it really did play out like a Dhar Mann video. Aspiring up-and-coming actors thought they had landed a great gig with a great guy. What happens next will shock you.
We are protesting why we are out there right now. We've been talking to a lot of actors. It's the same, everybody feels the same across the board. The trouble is, there's a culture at the studio of if you talk, you're out.
It seems the moral mastermind Dhar Mann is ruling his company with an iron fist of fear, where if people speak out against him, I guess they're fired, at least according to the actors. I'm only showing you Colin's statement here, but there are so many others. You can find all of it by just looking up the Dhar Mann protests. All of the main actors that you're used to seeing in Dhar Mann's videos have come out against him. And they're not being greedy, by the way. Like, all of them are just saying, we just want, like, moderately decent pay for the work. Like, all of them are proud of the work they've done with Dhar Mann. Colin concludes the video by talking about how much all of it has meant to him. But if they can't afford rent, there's a huge problem. They're not looking to be paid fucking 6 figures per production or anything. They're just looking for fair pay for the work that they've done and are continuing to do for you. And the least you can do is at least hear them out, go to a meeting. But Colin and all of the other actors talk about how Dhar Mann continuously avoids talking to them. He refuses to actually sit down and have a conversation. I'll let Colin explain that situation.
So we decided to come together as a group and talk collectively with our boss, Dhar Mann. We sent a letter to him, a hard copy and an email. The email was CC'd to the head of production as well, so that we made sure that Dhar got it, but it was addressed to Dhar. It was delivered to Dhar. We were contacted, said we could have a meeting to discuss our issues. That meeting was pushed several times, changed on us. When we finally got to the meeting, we had reiterated that we wanted it to be with Dhar. Dhar was not there. Following a couple days, reiterating again, we would like to speak specifically with Dhar. This is what the meeting is about. This is our boss. This is who we want to talk to. End of the week comes and goes. We learned Saturday there will not be a meeting.
Apparently Dhar Mann couldn't even be bothered to attend the meeting after pushing it several times and eventually just shutting that shit down entirely and putting the kibosh on it. He has so little respect for his talent that he refuses to even acknowledge them or hear them out or face them in person. He just hides behind emails and horrible pay, I suppose. At least according to all of the actors. This is pretty much all of them. I have yet to see any, like, defense of Dhar Mann, so we only have one side of the story. I'm very interested to hear his side of it, because this is an overwhelming amount coming out against him. And I really feel like what they're looking for is super reasonable. Talk to us. Like, that's the only reason the protest is happening right now. Like, the pay is obviously a huge problem, but the biggest issue is that he won't even talk to them to at least hear them out about the pay. So they don't even have that first step of getting the pay fixed, which is communication with the fucking guy who's decided their pay. So they just want to talk to him, but he won't let them. Which is why they're standing outside of the Dhar Mann Studios, ringing cowbells, blowing whistles, and letting everyone know how awful it's been. Like, it is just wild to me that Dhar Mann, the absolute moral authority, the mega mind of morals, is this much of an asshole, apparently. So yeah, anyway, that's about it. Just wanted to talk about all of this and let everyone know what's going on with it. Pretty interesting situation, hoping for the best for the actors. Yesterday, one of the largest and longest running scams in Twitch history was brought to light. It was led by a streamer named It's Slicker, and it wasn't like some big, tight operation or anything. It's Slicker is a streamer that was friends with many other streamers and had a very strong community. And over the course of a couple years, he asked many of his viewers, his mods, and his friends for loans, promising to pay them back within a few months, but never did. And in total, it looks like he may have scammed around $300,000 from viewers, mods, and friends. However, the exact total isn't known, and yesterday, Slicker even admitted all of it on stream. And I just want to preface this video by saying it does involve gambling. Slicker has a self-admitted gambling addiction, and it's a very serious and debilitating illness, but it doesn't excuse any of Slicker's behavior. The scamming is absolutely indefensible. Now what you're going to see is the real-time investigation that I conducted on stream that'll show the whole story and go over everything. These are some hefty accusations here. I'm going to have to get the monocle out and take a peek for myself. Get to the bottom of this one. He got 27K from a streamer? I feel like we're just making shit up now. I don't believe that. A streamer gave him 27K? Lent him 27K? Who? Scroll down. I don't want spoilers. I want to go in order.
Yo, Typhoon, what's up, baby? I hope you don't hate me on this. It's so cringe, and I'm cringe for asking my brother, please do not hate me.
No.
Please, keep it personal as well. Basically, my bank account got locked. This has happened for like 3-4 days. I've been asking around people. Sadly, today, well, tomorrow is the last day until my...
Just a quick pet peeve. I don't mean to immediately cut him off. I hate videos that are like this. The pretending to look busy. Oh, it's also really low, isn't it? I still have it set on volume from last night here, sorry. I hate it. Like, he's just acting like he's got things going on, like shuffling around the house at a weird angle. Oh, it's just such a weird vibe. Like, if you're gonna film a video, just sit still and do it. Don't just like wander around aimlessly like an NPC glitching out in a quest line. It's just much simpler.
Fucked up. It got locked out, and I was looking for people that actually work, and that I could ask if I could borrow from, and I'll pay back. Genuinely, give me 2 months and I can pay back. If you can't, no worries, my brother. If you can, but please, don't feel forced to say yes. Yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't get in the call to do this. It's so I feel genuinely embarrassed. I've asked a few streamers, they couldn't help, and
oh,
yeah,
don't be embarrassed. No shame.
So I just went out, asked a few subs I've noticed, and yeah, that's why I also asked for your age, because I don't.
Okay. So the story is, he asked his viewers, as well as streamers I suppose, to send him money saying he'd pay them back in 2 months, and never has. That's the gist of it, right? Turn up more. I mean, it's maxed on both OBS and here. It's just he was doing like ASMR for this fucking video. Okay, and then I saw this in the comments, but I haven't clicked any yet, so let's go through these. Hopefully this is chronologically ordered. It's LSF, I would expect nothing else. Alphabetized as well. Perhaps using the Dewey Decimal System. Read the convo, still got my issue with money, you can't borrow for a few days, and I bust back. Nah, sorry bro, legit. What's the issue anyway? 200 quid for 300. Can't be bothered explaining. Long story with my accountant. You get that in 2 days or less, or even today or tomorrow. You get an extra 100 quid. Sounds like a RuneScape scam. I'm assuming this is just a viewer. Oh, okay, I see. So at the end of the clip, I thought I might have misheard him because he's fucking whispering into my ear like little sweet nothings. He asked his age, didn't he? That's what he said at the end of the clip, right?
It's okay. So I just went out, asked a few subs I've noticed, and yeah, that's why I also asked for your age, because I don't.
That's why I also asked for your age. It looks like he did that to a lot of people, because this starts with, I'm almost 17, and yeah, which means he probably asked, how old are you? Okay. Wait, you work at 16? What the fuck? Yeah, kind of common. At 16, bro? Never mind, I need a fave, but I feel you're young to ask. Oh. God, what a creepy vibe. Jesus. My bank got temp locked and I need to buy my mother a plane ticket to Iraq since my GMA got corona. Plane ticket cost $575, but I don't know, man. I don't know who to ask. I won't ask a streamer because their ego is nasty as fuck. One of his loyal viewers gave him 7K? Oh, God! October, November, December, June. Oh, my lord. These were monthly payments. What was he running? A protection racket or something? Like the mafia? What did he do with the money? Like, does he just spend it on, like, gambling? Does he, like, dump it into cars? What does he do? Full disclosure, I'm not super familiar with Slicker. I've only met him, like, twice. One of them was during a League of Legends tournament, and that was pretty miserable. Not because of him, just the tournament itself. We just got steamrolled. So I'm not, like, really familiar with him overall. But this seems pretty bad. It's always the same stuff. I don't understand. As a streamer, how can you be so low IQ? Everything gets leaked. Literally everything gets leaked. So if you're scamming viewers and streamers alike, how can you possibly think for 1 second that's never gonna come up? God. It has to be gambling. It has to be gambling. I can't imagine what else he's spending this money on. Is he big into gambling? Literally everyone is saying yes. Does he gamble on stream, or is this just like an in-person thing? Yeah, that's what chat was saying. He took 28K from someone named Luca. Luke AFK. We haven't gotten that far yet. That's just like a little spoilers from chat. Such a weird cold open too. Yo, bro. Yo, how old are you? Like, who opens with that? Well, this time he actually did a call. Damn, this one was only, like, 3 weeks ago. August 29th. Oh my god, this one was last week! Oh, Jesus. What the fuck? And then the streamers people mentioned Minx, Ludwig, Slime, and Luke AFK. Is there any others? So apparently Ludwig and Slime both gave him money. Minx gave him money, and Luke AFK apparently gave 27K. Or 28K.
I lost 27,000. From
Fuck.
giving a lend to Slicker.
God, that's so
I thought
painful.
I could trust him. And I guess I just couldn't, bro. And I'm honestly, like, I'm really fucking sad about it. You know, like, I'm actually...
Well, as anyone would be. 27 grand... 27,000 barnacles. Oh. Bro, that guy probably thought himself a saint for a while. Like, damn, that's my good deed for the next 5 years. Because, I mean, judging by all these screenshots... Slicker was coming up with really big sob stories, so he was probably like, damn, I just saved this guy's life. When really all he did was fund a couple extra spins. That's a year's wage for some people. Yeah, it is. That's a lot of doubloons. He asked me to in DMs on Twitter. I'm ex-Twitch staff admin. He asked me out of the blue on Twitter, and he signed a gambling sponsorship a couple days ago and got paid up front 5K. Jesus Christ. I'm almost insulted he never asked me. What the fuck? Why would... I'm not good enough to ask for money? Okay, Slicker, whatever. I don't think I follow him on Twitter, that might be why. Damn. Drats. No, I don't trust that shit. I don't blame people, like his viewers, for believing that story. But just as a general lesson, a streamer of Slicker's size is never going to have money trouble unless quite literally they have an absolutely debilitating gambling addiction and they have spent every dime. If I remember correctly, he holds 5K subs, right? Somewhere in that ballpark, 3 to 5K subs. You have to be remarkably irresponsible with your money to be anywhere close to not well off. Because that's just subs. No, he holds around 1.6 now. What? When he was on my League of Legends team, he had like 5K subs. What happened? That was only like 8 months ago. He has 600 subs and averages 600 viewers. Well, I'm gonna look for myself. Because if that's true, that's a colossal fall off in a very short amount of time. Oh, wow. What the fuck happened? Did he stop streaming? My lord. That shit's looking like Netflix stock.
He's awake right now. I know for sure he's awake.
Yeah, he probably asked for money around this time.
I know for sure he's awake. I don't give a shit. Dude,
his mods were unbanning.
Is he using
toxic
Skype?
People.
He scammed his own mods? Are you fucking kidding me?
That's not surprising. He scammed everyone. That's equal opportunity scamming right there, baby.
He tweeted he'll address it tomorrow.
I have no doubt that'll go well. Unless this is all like one giant disinformation campaign, I don't know how you really come back from it. But there's so many reports from so many streamers, viewers, and mods. I don't know how you come back from it. He even filmed himself asking for money. But I'm always open to hearing the other side. And I know that stream's gonna be a banger.
Be back.
You might be banned by tomorrow, bro. What do you mean? Why would you get banned? What do you mean?
Bro, I'll just say it here as well. My intentions were not to scam. I have paid a few people back, but I'll say it on stream tomorrow.
Okay.
Well, why did you pay the
so-
streamers back and not the people who...
That doesn't really save it though. If the intention wasn't to scam, that's not really the problem. Here's my guess. The intention was to make up for losses from gambling, and his idea was not too dissimilar from like a pyramid scheme almost, right? You take in a big influx of money and you pay the investors back with the incoming stuff, right? So his idea was probably, I'll take this money in, I'll win big gambling, and I'll pay them back, and now I'm up. Or Ponzi, not pyramid. Ponzi. Sorry, I got him fucked up. That's my guess. Again, I'm not super familiar with Slicker, but that's what it sounds like to me. I fully believe him that his intention wasn't just to take money from these people without paying them back. He truly believed he would be able to make more money with their money and pay them back. But you know how that goes. He could start a GoFundMe. Yeah. Feel really bad for all those people that's a lot of lost money. Yeah. You can't help but feel bad for the people that thought they were doing a good thing to help out someone they liked. Bro, imagine though. Imagine Slicker won big. Fucking fat big buckaroos. The massive mega jackpot Omega Millions. He pays everyone back and he's still viewed positively. Just get better at gambling, idiot. It's free money. Eventually. Yep, that's the stat. 90% of gamblers quit right before the big win. Heartbreaking. But the good news is it doesn't seem like he ever quit, so he's still due for that big win. Do you think he can get arrested for this? I don't know, man. What do I look like? The authorities? I have no fucking clue. I guess it would depend on what the people he scammed choose to do. Because, I mean, you can't, like, scam legally, right? Like, you can get sued. So it'd be up to them to like press it forward. But then they'd be out even more money. So here's his first ask. So looking for $1,000 here. Which is like the standard ask he seems to have been doing. Oh, I see my cam's blocking it. I'll just read it. I don't feel like moving the cam. If I asked, would it be okay to borrow and I get you when I'm back? Don't worry, King, you can say no. Keep it personal as well because I'm embarrassed. I recorded that because they won't allow screenshots on the app. Is $1,000 okay? I got you. An extra, are you able to do Bitcoin King in case you think I'm hacked? Or PayPal is fine. Thank you so much. It's okay. It would mean a lot. But believe me, 1K is fine. Thank you. I got it. So that's Lakari. He sent through the money. Slicker confirmed he got it. And then this is Slicker attempting to pay him back. He shows a screenshot of money that was supposedly sent to Lakari, but then it turns out it wasn't. It turns out it was canceled. So he's like, oh, what in tarnation? What the fuck? That's weird. It's gone from my bank now. So they didn't pay him back. Oh no. How is this? It just keeps getting worse. Botez lended him 10K. Ah. Did she just say that? Let's see. This is hot off the press right now. I wonder if we can tally up the total amount that he was able to scam if enough people come forward with their receipts. They're tallying it up on Asmon's stream and they're saying it's right around 200K plus. Not bad. not bad. Wow. Damn, he's good. Yeah, he's good. I'm surprised he was able to do it for so long, especially with such a weird opener. Again, like, look at these screenshots. Almost all of them start with, how old are you? Immediately went to the very only one that isn't opened like that. Okay, my god. Yeah. Just a cold opener with how old are you? That's just with random viewers, though. He was far more personal with streamers and friends. I just pulled up the Lakari post. I agree. He was a lot more, like, I wouldn't necessarily say personal, though. He just made it a lot sadder. So, like, with Lakari, he was like, look, you can say no. It's totally fine if you say no. I'll still think you're a king. But listen, king, I need $1,000. And again, you can say no, but it'd really mean a lot to me if you gave me $1,000. Believe me, I'll pay you back and then some. So if $1,000 would be really appreciated. But again, you don't have to. But I would really appreciate it if you did. Here's my PayPal. Here's your Tempest. Apparently on Asmon's stream, they're tallying it up and they're saying it's like a little north of 200K. I don't think it's 200K. If I had to guess based on all of the ones I know about, like that I've seen so far, I would say it's probably right around that 125 to 150 grand ballpark. That would be my guess. I don't know how many of his mods he scammed though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Train did give him $100,000. Not surprised.
The epitome of gambling. I'm never won.
Is this true?
200,000. My father hears this. I need to get help.
That's true.
How? I always wished I could get help from it.
There are so many courses and places to help with gambling addiction. There's a ton of options.
Yeah, man. Keep a little bit for myself, gamble the money. See if I can win and maybe owe people back with that money. I lose that money.
Exactly what I thought.
Alone. I don't know what to do. Then I ask someone else, hey, can you give me 500?
That is exactly what we were all speculating. Unlucky.
This is not a man. These gambling sites you're witnessing. Yeah, I was actually gonna do some sponsors. I don't know.
I mean, so far it seems like he's not making any excuses. He's not trying to sugarcoat it. He has a gambling addiction.
How can he trust me?
And it's completely ruined him.
How can he trust?
Started with CSGO. Like he would use the money he'd beg for CSGO cases? Or is that where he attributes like the start of his addiction? What you just saw is legitimate gambling addiction, the darkest side of it. People like to downplay it a lot, but that is actually life ruining. What's the stat? 1 in 4 gambling addicts take their own life? It is a legitimately like life ruining addiction that people make light of. It's 1 in 5. 1 in 5. I knew it was something like that. But you have to push for the max win. I mean, you're right. You're guaranteed a max win at some point in your life. It's just a matter of, are you man enough to stick it out? That's right. Amen, brother. I hope Slicker gets the help that he needs. Gambling addiction's fucking rough. And hopefully the people that got scammed get their money back somehow. So, here, let me see the clips. Chat was kind of giving me the dirty details as they unfolded. It seems that roughly, 50 or so victims And the clips have an update. Oh, here we go.
Ever since CS.
And Trainwreck's TV gave 100 grand, like just straight up from, that's one person, 100 grand. And we also know Luke AFK gave 28 grand. We know Botez gave 10 grand. And these are just some of the heavy hitters. So it's definitely over 200. Very, very well over 200.
CSGO, not to blame, but ever since CSGO Lounge came out, it was the first time I went on that site, and
He himself was like, yeah, no one should really defend me. You can't. It's an indefensible thing. Yes, it is a legitimate illness, but I mean, it's not like that's an excuse to scam this many people for this long. Train gave him 100k to pay off all debt and then cut all contact with him after. Oh, and he didn't use it to pay people back? Well, this is just fucking sad,
I'm
man.
not a victim. I'm not a victim. Man, wallah, I never knew this thing was gonna come, bro.
Okay, this is just fucking sad. That's just making me sad. I don't know why you'd tell me to watch that. Fake tears. It's hard to say. Gambling addiction is a real thing, though. He deserves all this backlash for scamming for so long. It's still just a very sad thing overall, though. I don't want to see a guy fucking break down about it. Like, you can feel bad for someone's mental health while also condemning their actions. Again, gambling addiction's a very real thing. It's a genuine illness, but it doesn't excuse anything he did. So I don't feel bad that he got called out for it and now his whole career's in the shitter from it. That was his decision to keep going. Apparently Train even tossed him 100 grand lifeline to pay everyone back and he gambled it away instead. Welcome to another exciting episode of Charlie Looks at Shitty YouTube Content. Let's go ahead and dive right back into our favorite dirty toilet bowl, Fortnite. Ever since I made the Fortnite video a couple weeks back about shitty Fortnite content, I've been inundated with emails, just fucking ass blasted with emails, asking me, do you know about Allie? What's up with Allie? What the fuck is this guy's deal? This is awful, look at this shit. So I looked into this Allie character, and in a nutshell, Allie is what it looks like when you sell your soul to make money. He's YouTube's premier clickbaiter for children. He'll play whatever game's just really popping off, just whatever game's banging and slapping and making their parents' wallets cry that has the largest audience of children. Right now that's Fortnite, so he'll hop on Fortnite and clickbait the shit out of all of his videos. Misleading title, photoshopped misleading thumbnail that checks every box in the checklist for internet douchebaggery where it's a red arrow pointing at some shit with a wacky facial expression. And then that's about all the content is, because it's not entertaining. There's no entertainment to be derived from one of his videos if you're above the age of 8 or 9. It's incredibly uninteresting. If he's playing a game, it boils down to him just saying exactly what's happening on the screen with no jokes at all. Oh, I'm building a wall right now. Oh, my wall is getting shot at by that man's counter gun. The bullets are coming at me, and I don't have a chance to shoot those bullets at him. I'm going to build another wall here. I'm now building another wall. This wall's going up real good. If he's watching a trailer and shitting his pants about it, it's always just saying what's happening in the trailer. Whoa, that's a gun in his hand. Guns usually shoot bullets. If I had a gun that shot bullets and I'm playing a video game, I'm going to be aiming those bullets at another player. I wonder if this game will let me shoot bullets at another player. Ah, remember to smash that like button, Allie Army. And that's pretty much his content in a nutshell. And that's fine, because there's thousands of popular limp dicks on YouTube doing that same shit right now. I think it's kind of bad because you're deceiving people into watching your overly long shit video, but it's common practice on YouTube. You can't really be mad about that. And he knows his audience is children. Like, here's a clip of him being self-aware.
Heavy shotgun. Whoa! I am so weak. I am so weak. Keep on shooting the walls, the wrong one. I am behind it. 5 kills, though. If we can get this, we'll be at 6.
I'm at 5 kills. If I get this, I'll be at 6. You can't dispute that arithmetic right there. He even takes a moment to teach his audience what number comes after 5, so you can clearly see he has a firm grasp on what age group his audience is in, where they're still learning this mathematics. Ultimately, though, all of this is harmless. It's just clickbait shit, and that's very common here. The only victim from these videos are the time wasted from the audience, and a lot of the times in the comment section you'll see kids that are distraught about it. They're upset. Oh, that's the video title's totally wrong. That didn't even happen. Why did you lie to us, Allie? Mom and Dad said if you lie, you go to hell. You should take down this video before the Lord condemns you to hell. It's shit like that, but like I said, ultimately harmless. The issue I draw with this guy is he runs these fake giveaway scams where he'll, you know, make people believe that they're gonna win something cool from him if they smash the like button, fucking annihilate the like button, subscribe, ring the bell, and write his name on their toy box out of blood. Then he'll choose someone randomly from the comments section to give away this cool shit to, and then you'll see 200,000 comments like on this video.